Hello, this is Mark. I'm going to outline the importance of macronutrient intake with regards to testosterone production. I'm going to start off with protein. In excess, protein naturally converts to ammonia, which is NH4, considering protein is nitrogenous. And anytime you consume excessive protein, it's going to cause havoc to the body, and it's especially going to be a burden to the liver. The liver has to process the ammonia and break it down and convert it to uric acid, which then gets converted to urea within the kidneys and flushed out of the system. But if you continually consume too much protein that goes excess of the demands of the body, then you're gonna not be able to utilize protein, and the rest is going to be converted to ammonia, and it's going to cause degradation to the liver over time due to the stress, and then that's going to indirectly lead to inflammation, which is going to cause an upregulation of cortisol, because cortisol is a hormone secreted in the adrenal glands to help get rid of inflammation. It's also a catabolic hormone, so it can actually suppress testosterone when it reaches excess limits. And this is going to cause a host of issues within the body: liver stagnation, the bowel output is going to be decreased, and that's going to cause poor fat processing and metabolism, and that's going to also indirectly lead to poor circulation and constriction of the arteries, and then that's going to lead to improper oxygen production that gets circulated throughout the body to the brain, and then the brain, which controls all the organs, it's essentially the organ system is going to shut down, and the whole body overall is going to be in a non-healthful state. And anytime you consume marginal protein, or protein that does not fulfill the demands of the body, or under the limit, it's going to cause a lot of problems, because the body requires protein to break down its amino acids to facilitate so many processes of the body, for the healing of tissues, healing of organs. It supports the enzymic reactions, so many different reactions throughout the body, and it fulfills the demands of the circulatory system, reproductive system, adrenal gland system, thyroid gland, and throughout the entire body. So the body is not going to be at its full or heightened efficiency or max capacity to be able to function and perform all the actions needed to upregulate testosterone production. So it's definitely important to get enough protein in the diet, and adjust the protein according to your activity or your activity level. So if you exercise very frequently and you do a lot of cardiovascular exercises, you're going to need more protein, because your muscles are going to need to rebuild, and they're going to require more protein to facilitate that process. And conversely, if you do not exercise often at all and have a sedentary lifestyle, you're not going to require as much protein, so it's easier to reach that excess limit. So the range of your protein consumption should be adjusted according, to your activity level, essentially, and how much muscle mass you have. So if you have a lot of muscle mass, you can consume more protein, and your body will utilize it for protein synthesis. And if you don't have a lot of muscle, you're going to need less protein. Another macronutrient that is very important for testosterone production is carbohydrates. However, in excess, carbohydrates can lead to a host of problems, including liver stagnation, fatty liver disease. Essentially, carbohydrates are, once its glucose is created within the bloodstream from carbohydrate consumption, it gets transmitted to the liver via insulin, and then it gets stored as glycogen, as an energy reservoir, and glycogen is utilized. It's expended for the processes within the brain and the whole organ system, like I mentioned before. And if you build more muscle mass, you can expand, or you can liberate more glycogen to help support the breakdown, or to help the healing process. And essentially, excess fat, body fat, is a byproduct of excessive glycogen. Your liver can only store a certain limit, and that is depending on the metabolism and the health overall. But if the reservoir of that limit is surpassed, then you store the energy as body fat. And this could be visceral or internal body fat, and that's going to cause the liver to work inefficiently, because the liver is an organ, it pumps, and if it's constricted, it's not able to pump, and therefore it's not able to filtrate the blood efficiently. And if it's not able to filtrate the blood efficiently, you're going to have toxins that can potentially recirculate, cause the brain to potentially be, cause damage to the brain. Potentially that's going to lead to, and that's one problem that it can potentially cause, or it's a potentiator for dementia. So you definitely want to eliminate excessive carbohydrate consumption. It's only going to cause excessive inflammation, and again, indirectly upregulate cortisol. And again, it's going to cause the same process. So, and conversely, if you consume marginal carbohydrate production, or you fast for a prolonged period, eventually your body will go into ketosis and utilize fat as a reserve for energy, and which is very efficient for the brain. However, the body has so many demands, so many processes running through the entire body, and if you're exercising rigorously and you're breaking down tissue, causing inflammation, the body has to utilize some energy, and it needs to spare some glucose. So what ends up happening is cortisol is combined with amino acids. It actually causes muscle atrophy, breaks down muscle tissue, which you do not want, especially when you're trying to enhance testosterone levels. And it combines with the glucose or the amino acids and the certain peptides to create glucose, and then that can be utilized for the healing process and get rid of inflammation. But through its upregulation, it's just going to suppress testosterone, because cortisol is an antagonist of testosterone in high amounts. So again, it's very imperative to balance and be aware of what are the demands of the body. And essentially, this is just over time you realize this. Anytime you do work out, or if you exercise, the body is extremely resilient and it's adaptable, but you don't want to progress. You don't want to just jump in immediately and work out excessively. I know they say, there's a 45-minute limit, but it's different for everyone. Like I said, if the body is resilient and adaptable, you can progress over time, but you should do it at a steady pace. If you go immediately and jump into 2-hour workout sessions, that's going to cause a lot of stress to the body, because it's just a shock to the body. But if you progress over time, you can actually increase the duration, because the body builds the adaptation, and once you reach a new equilibrium, your body can be set at, you can achieve that balance. But in just starting off, you want to moderate everything and be aware and balance all the processes. Last micronutrient that I want to touch base on with regards to testosterone is fat. Fat is the building block of testosterone. However, in excess, fat can definitely induce inflammation, because the fatty molecules are very difficult for the liver to break down, and it requires a lot of energy reserves to process. So anytime you consume in excess, it's just going to cause the degradation of the liver and the gallbladder over time. And again, that's going to lead to stagnation, poor circulation, and a host of other inflammatory processes, and then upregulate cortisol again. So the main pattern here is that in excess, or if you consume too little of these macronutrients, it's going to cause inflammation and upregulation of cortisol. Conversely, if you consume low amount of fat, your cholesterol levels are going to diminish, and cholesterol supports optimal testosterone levels. And also, the fats are needed for the brain to function, so you need omega-3s and certain monosaturated fats, and to support the overall organ system. And it's very imperative, to balance fats as well, and achieve a wide array of fats, and ensure you're not overcooking the polyunsaturated fats, especially because they're more unstable. The bonds are more unstable, and they go rancid at a faster rate. But yeah, you definitely want to consider a variety of very broad range diet with an array of micronutrients as well, and that will support optimum testosterone level. Again, it's key just to be aware of everything, and to follow the laws of nature, and nature provides everything we need to survive. and to liberate our health and to achieve, a balanced state, and, to maintain fulfillment, satisfaction. We all have different we all as humans share the, similar needs and desires, but we have the uniqueness, and we all seek we have different avenues that can lead to fulfillment. So it's critical to just focus on optimizing everything and seeking novelty, whether it's expanding your consciousness, whether it's expanding your knowledge. And yeah, to sum it up, just try to maintain positive, and just focus on extracting extracting knowledge and learning, and trying to achieve a healthy or optimized organ system.